Yo, what is up, guys? We're back with a new DC News video. So, our main boy, James Gunn, has announced something on his socials, basically. I saw this come up on my feed. So, briefly talked about this before, I believe. So, they are making a Jimmy Olsen spin off show. We've now got the title of the actual show now, which is pretty cool. And they announced the cast as well, James Gunn did. So, yeah. And we got like this newspaper, Daily Planet news article, basically, where it's going about the story of what's going on in this show, basically. And we also got the cast as well. So, I'm going to get into that, basically, give you my quick thoughts. So, yeah. So we get this description about the show, basically. So let's talk about the actual cast. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter, basically. So HBO Max's next DC Studio series will have a decidedly lighter tone than its current one, which is obviously Lanterns that they're referring to at the moment, which is unbelievable, the first episode that's come out. But yeah, the streamer has officially picked up the title of the show, which is called The People versus Gorilla Grodd. So we did hear about this, that apparently Gorilla Grodd was going to be making his live action debut in this show, which is pretty cool to see. I'm excited about it, seeing Gorilla Grodd. I always like Gorilla Grodd. He's definitely one of my favourite like Flash villains, besides like Reverse Flash and like Captain Cold. But yeah, it's interesting to see how we're going to do it, because we've already technically seen Grodd in the DCU in that there was a scene in Courage Commandos we got to see of him in animated form in like this vision of the future in that show, where the princess was like working with Grodd or something. So I don't know if this is like potentially, maybe that's going to lead to something that will tie into this show, perhaps, maybe with the connection. But because I'm guessing this show is obviously going to take place after Superman, I presume it is. But yeah, I'm excited to see Gorilla Grodd. But yeah, it's a mockumentary centered on the Daily Planet staffer Jimmy Olsen, which was obviously played by Skylar Gisando, reprising the role. The 8-episode show will show Jimmy directing and starring in a true crime show that investigates whether Gorilla Grodd was wrongfully convicted in one of Metropolis's most famous murder trials, per the show's logline. Okay. So yeah, that's a brief description on the Hollywood Reporter. So Jimmy Turturro, sorry if I butchered that. I'm probably going to butcher these names now with the cast announcement. Is obviously playing Gorilla Grodd, so that's officially been confirmed in that a while back, because it was rumored for a bit. But yeah. So yeah, he will play Gorilla Grodd, a super intelligent ape, and sometimes Superman nemesis. I'd probably say he's more of a Flash nemesis more than a Superman nemesis, to be honest. But this is what the Hollywood Reporter said. But yeah, we've got some other cast members from the Daily Planet team also reprising their roles. So we've got Will Beck Bennett is returning as Steve Lombard. That's pretty cool. I quite found him funny. We've got Michaela Hoover returning as Cat Grant. Love it. We've got Rendell Pierce obviously returning as Perry White. But yeah, that's all the Daily Planet returning members we've got, besides obviously Jimmy. But no word if maybe we'll get a cameo from like Lois Lane or like Clark Kent. I don't know. Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see on that front if that happens. But we have got some newcomers. We've got Mary Holland. Some of these actors I don't know, to be honest. We've got sorry if I butcher this, Eduardo Franco. We've got Ariane Moed. Got Dan Perrault. Andrew Leeds. And Tim Bolts. So yeah, got some new faces obviously joining the DCU. I don't know if any of these newcomers are playing any big DC characters. We'll wait and see. I can't imagine Gorilla Grodd would be like the only DC like villain in the show. I imagine there'll be like maybe like an obscure couple villains, because I know James Gunn loves pulling some of the obscure characters. So maybe I can imagine maybe we'll get one or two as well of those. But yeah, I mean, the cast looks pretty impressive, to be honest. But yeah, I was kind of expecting maybe Miss Tessmacher to return, Eve Tessmacher, with how obsessed she was with Jimmy in the Superman movie, but it doesn't seem like she's returning, which I thought, okay. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But we also got a newspaper like article basically to promote the announcement of the cast joining the show and that. So I'm just going to read what's on this this Daily Planet like newspaper article that they released this image with the cast announcement. So the Daily Planet announced today it will begin production on an 8-part documentary series that will dive back into Metropolis's most infamous murder trial, The People vs. Gorilla Grodd. Will take a fresh 360-degree look at the case, revealing lesser seen side of the hyper-intelligent ape. According to the film's first-time director Jimmy Olsen was granted unprecedented exclusive access to interview Grodd inside Strikers Island Penitentiary for the documentary. That's interesting. Strikers Island, because we haven't seen Strikers Island in the DCU yet, I don't think. So that's pretty interesting, because we've obviously seen Bell Rev, and we've had references to Arkham Asylum as well in like Peacemaker and that. But yeah, that's interesting. We've got our first reference to Strikers Island, and that's obviously where a lot of the Superman's villains get put, to be honest, in Metropolis. So yeah, we've got our first reference to Strikers Island, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so Gorilla Grodd has long claimed his innocence in the murder and brain consumption of his father, King Grodd, a crime he was convicted of in March 2021 and has remained incarcerated for ever since. The series will take an in-depth look at the investigation, featuring brand new reporting from members of the Daily Planet staff, as well as interviews with witnesses and experts on both Grodd's and Metropolis's district attorney's side of the case, including Gorilla Grodd's new counsel at the Metropolis Freedom Project. Okay. Everyone thinks they know Grodd, the power-hungry gorilla who killed his father for the throne of Gorilla City. Cool. That's cool. So we've got another reference. We've got Gorilla City being referenced as well. So that's a thing. So obviously Gorilla City is normally in Africa in the comics. But yeah, I wonder if we'll actually get to go to Gorilla City in this show, or we'll get to see it in like a flashback or something maybe, of when Grodd maybe kills his father to take the throne. But yeah, we'll see. But that's pretty cool. We got our first reference to Gorilla City. And then, yeah, let's carry on. So, said Perry Wright, managing editor of the Daily Planet and the documentary's supervising producer. But once you start to take a look beneath the fur, you start to realise there's a lot more to that primate. Then it just says director Jimmy Olsen, supervising producer Perry Wright, producer Steve Lombard, and Cat Grant, the voice of Metropolis. But yeah, and then that's pretty much it, to be honest, on that newspaper article we get, basically like to promote the announcement of the show, basically. But yeah, that was a pretty cool way to put it with the cast announcement. I think I quite like that. But yeah, I mean, am I excited for this show? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a fun idea. Would I prefer this show coming out before like some of the big characters? Probably not, but I mean, it is what it is. I'll take what I can get. I mean, I'm trusting what they can do with the DCU. I know Supergirl was a bit of a mixed bag for a lot of people, but Superman people love, and Supergirl was a bit of a mixed bag. But I mean, Lantern seems to be doing well, and people love Peacemaker and that. So I don't think we can agree with the people that are saying that the DCU is cooked after Supergirl, because it clearly isn't, especially with Lanterns out on at the moment, because people were loving the first episode. So I mean, I'm excited for Clayface as well this year. I think that's going to be a great film because it's horror, and I know horror film is like quite a good franchise to get into. But yeah, I'm excited to see this because it's going to be like a sort of comedy, like documentary sort of type of thing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, sort of gives me Office vibes a little bit, but we'll see. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my thoughts on this. Yeah, are you guys excited for this show, the People versus Gorilla Grodd? I mean, I am excited for it. I just want to see a trailer, and then we'll give you my thoughts even more about it. But yeah, we'll probably get that maybe at the end of the year or beginning of next year, I reckon, the trailer. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.